Hi, everybody. It's Larry with JusticeNewsNetwork.com. And I'm here to talk about Khanna, who is a gentleman from Northern California who represents Silicon Valley in the Congress.
How did you wind up winning? Because, you know, Mike Honda was a very long-term congressman in California in a comfortably blue district.
Right.
So you had to take him on in a primary, and he, like you said, you had no name recognition, Dothraki or otherwise. And so, how in the world did you beat him?
And here's the thing: he's a decent guy, but and this is why we can't just say, okay, you can only run if someone is a terrible incumbent. But we had differences. I supported Bernie in the primary. He was a superdelegate for Hillary. I said we need to abolish superdelegates. I campaigned on a single payer and Medicare for all. I campaigned saying I'm not going to take PAC money or lobbyist money. And we had a great debates. And at the end, I won on a progressive vision, but the party wasn't any weaker. And it wasn't some awful negative campaign. And this is where I believe that challenges will actually strengthen the party. And if they're good incumbents, they'll win. If they're good challengers, they'll win.
Wow. This guy sounds like just what we've been waiting for, doesn't he? Well, maybe. Maybe not.
Steve Spinner at gmail.com to John Podesta. All right. So this is his campaign manager.
Well, let's listen to Debbie of that, okay?
This is what is attached to send to John Podesta in service of hoping to be in service of Hillary Clinton. You ready? Here we go. Khanna is the first true Silicon Valley candidate. Roe, who is 38, has received the support of over 600 technology and financial leaders, more than 6 times what President Obama received in 2012. Support, money from these highly influential people we want to bring into the Democratic Party. Even President Obama couldn't deliver like this. Yeah. This includes both Democrats and Republicans, such as Eric Schmidt, John Doerr, Paul Adelini, Sheryl Sandberg, Marissa Mayer, Ron Conway, yada, yada, yada. The list goes on and on and on. Roe has raised nearly $5 million in 2 years without any help from party committees or elected member officials. Here is what you need to pay attention to. Listen to this. In this cycle, Roe's tech and South Asian donors can be a source of at least $50 million for the Democratic Party in national races. I'm going to deliver you this tech sector. I'm going to deliver $50 million of tech sector money to the Democratic Party. Oh yeah, that's real grassroots money and organizing right there, right? We're going to deliver it to you, John Podesta, to you, Hillary Clinton, because we're going to fight the establishment. Yeah, he is.
And what people love about Khanna is that he doesn't take PAC money. He doesn't take lobbyist money.
And then they go after and they detail Honda's campaign because they want Hillary and John to come and stand with them. Then they highlight how he can deliver him a new identity politics segment. Khanna represents the South Asian diaspora. Roe's grandfather gives the history, and it's like, we can bring you this segment. We can bring Hillary this segment of voters. We can bring the establishment politician criminal who Jimmy Dore is always ripping down, rightly so, and we're going to deliver them this segment right here. Now, this is during the election when Roe's campaign was actively courting Podesta and Clinton.
So I have a purity test. I'm not against purity tests. I'm for purity tests. Roe passes it. He's one of the 6 members of Congress who doesn't take that money right now. 6. I'm with him. He passes the purity test. That's my one. By the way, the Justice Democrats have 22 points like 22 planks in their thing. You know how many you have to follow of those you have to agree to be a Justice Democrat? 1. That's their purity test. 1, don't take corporate lobbyist money. That's it.
Over 70% of Roe's donors were first-time donors, and many will be inspiring to give big once Roe wins. So this email is selling how Ro Khanna can deliver the tax sector money to the Democratic Party and to Hillary Clinton and to the establishment politicians. There's more. There's more. Read this entire email.
So so people have been sending this to me late. So people sent me this. So this is from Open Secrets. Wall Street's Fab Five House members candidates most relying on funding from finance industry. And it says that Ro Khanna took all this money from the finance industry. And so what I emailed back a few people, and then I just started getting too many emails, so I'm going to do a video about it, is that what I would tell people is that Ro Khanna takes money from individuals. He doesn't take money from like a PAC or from lobbyists or from corporations. He takes them from individuals, and his district is Silicon Valley. And so that's okay. That's okay. You can take individual. That's what Bernie Sanders takes, individual donations. That's what we want to get it back to, individual donations, not lobbyists, not super PACs. Get rid of Citizens United. So that's what we're talking about, right?
All right, but there's more. There's more. Ro Khanna has been a loyal supporter of Hillary Clinton, unlike Mike Honda. Unlike him, I'm loyal to Hillary Clinton. Loyal to Hillary Clinton, And then it's asked, and then they request, what do they want Hillary Clinton to do and John Podesta to do? Well, Hillary Clinton campaign could call Honda and make it clear to him that his running is not good for the party. So Hillary Clinton, his campaign wanted Clinton to influence, to kick his opponent out, all right? Have Clinton come out for an event for Roe or endorse Roe's candidacy. This would end the race and would be a tremendous legacy for the president, given his passion for India and the Indian American community. Oh, Honda is likely to vote against the TPP despite the White House's wishes. Roe has come out for it, okay? Ro Khanna, talking about what a progressive he is. You are not a progressive, my friends. If you come out for the Trans-Pacific Partnership, a global corporate takeover bill written behind the American people's backs through Hillary Clinton's State Department and the Office of Trade Representation. And Honda was going to vote against the TPP. Honda was going to vote against the TPP. And the Justice Democrats are championing a person who is for the TPP and reassuring during the campaign that he's going to stab the entire progressive community in the back, because that was one of our biggest issues. Unreal. Unreal. It doesn't end there. It doesn't end there. These are not small things. When you talk about people mouthing the right policy, you know what? Progressives have been mouthing the right policy position since Barack Obama, haven't they? They do it for decades. But what you need to look for is you need to look for actions for people who know how to hold their integrity and fight the establishment and not court it. And not offer up big bundles of money that they're going to deliver it and say, hey, we're going to stab the voters in the back and vote for the TPP under like Mike Honda. And we have had many years of slimeball politicians masquerading as progressives. And they'll give the language, but words are easy. Actions are what counts. And in addition, you want to look at Ro Khanna's actions, because they have been unimpressed. Now, first, Jimmy Dore had him on the show, and he's laughing it up, saying that Hillary Clinton is blaming Russia for her loss. But you know what? Then why, Ro Khanna, are you calling for an investigation into Russian election interference? The investigation that needs to be called for is for the actual fraud that occurred, the internal fraud that occurred in the Democratic primary. So you can laugh it up and say that Hillary Clinton, is blaming Russia, but you are validating that bullshit when you are joining and walking in line with that nonsense that Jimmy has been so brilliant in calling out. I've shared his videos calling it out. It's been absolutely brilliant and funny too. Very funny, good stuff. So, this guy is like, and he's standing against what Jimmy's trying to do and I'm trying to do. And Bernie Sanders has been doing it too. Many of them have been doing it. We're trying to educate the public on the reality of the Russia bullshit story and what really motivates and why the Democrats have been manipulating that. And one of the big things is to obfuscate the fraud. So these politicians who are coming on and saying that we desperately need to have a Russia election interference investigation, even though there's no objective, tangible evidence for that. And the narrative shields the actual fraud that was committed by the Democratic Party. And I'm not just talking DNC fraud and the collusion of the media. I'm talking about election fraud that occurred from sea to shining sea, as we all know. Michelle Reagan testified May 30th, 2015, that voter registration rolls were flipped. Arizona Secretary of State, voter registration rolls. Sanders voter rolls were being purged. Registrations were being flipped. And that didn't just happen in Arizona. Oh no, it happened in New York. It happened in California. It happened in Georgia. Looks like it happened in Florida. From sea to shining sea, mass election fraud. You know what we need in a progressive leader? Not somebody who goes along with a narrative that shields the fraud and obfuscates the fraud and blames Russia. We need a friggin' leader who will call out the friggin' the establishment fraud and stand against that. Let's talk about what Ro Khanna said about our best truth teller who had the courage to actually go and speak to the citizens of Syria. So we have Ro Khanna going and denouncing Tulsi Gabbard for her heroic work. He didn't believe, you shouldn't go over there. You shouldn't be going over there, Tulsi. You shouldn't be going over there actually looking around and standing up and interviewing the Syrian people and speaking out in real time against the propaganda that is being used to manipulate people to war. This man is standing with the war propaganda. I am done with progressives who will mouth the propaganda of the war machine and the friggin' military-industrial complex and then say, but we want peace. That's not a peaceful action. You want peace, you stand with the truth tellers because they are the peacemakers. The only hope we have in this country for a true change and a true peace movement is for people to understand the level of propaganda that the United States of America is using and manipulation and criminality and how these wars are actually being fought. And it starts with exposing the propaganda and the lies. But instead of doing that, Ro Khanna and Bernie Sanders, a couple of beauties, pseudo-progressives, the pair of them, look at this. Listen to what they stated in their recent articles. They met with the White Helmets, aligned with terrorists charged with creating the propaganda to sell war. And that goes against the best of our movement, the Eva Bartletts and the Vanessa Beeleys and the Gail Malones and all of the Syrian citizens who are screaming to the world that what the United States is perpetuating is a lie. And it is our job, especially as progressives, to stand with them. So this is not a progressive. This is a self-serving politician who in the election was courting Pelosi, was courting Podesta, was courting Clinton, talking about how he was going to bring $50 million of tech money into the party. Talking about how he wants Hillary Clinton to come to the wedding because wink, 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 wink. If you come, it's going to be a real sign to my big money tech people that we can bring more money and millions of dollars into the party. That is the antithesis of what people expected from the Justice Democrats. You should be ashamed of yourself, guys. The Justice Democrats, this is not a progressive. This is not a progressive. And you think you're going to have any kind of progressive change? Because in order to have progressive change, we have to first establish a baseline of what that means. And here's a few baseline tips. Anybody who is courting the worst establishment criminals and preening to them about how they can bring millions of dollars to them, not a progressive. Somebody who stands against the truth tellers and takes photo ops with friggin' the white helmets, not a progressive. Not a progressive. People who go along with the Russia bullshit story that shields and obfuscates the fraud of the friggin' Democratic Party, and not just the friggin' DNC emails. I'm talking mass election fraud that should have a full investigation right now. Not a progressive. Not a progressive. So first, if you want to have a progressive movement and take back the party from within, a strategy that has failed for 40 years by every single group, organization, and politician who has attempted it, first you have to give a baseline definition. And when, you know what you should be doing? When one of your Justice Democrat candidates is exposed as somebody who supports the TPP, went on his knees to Clinton and Podesta and Pelosi, and is standing against the truth tellers of the movement in Syria, including Tulsi Gabbard and Eva Bartlett, you say that's a mistake. And you know what? The American people desperately need to be uniting around truth right now, more than anything. And we need to totally be eschewing this kind of manipulative bullshit and moving together to try to create real solutions instead of these groups trying to figure out how to manipulate us and bring us right back to the same feet of the establishment who has been oppressing us for how many years? We need to stop this. We need to stop this. And I say to Jimmy Dore, I have great respect for you, but I am worried when I look and this is the kind of thing that you're doing, and you are ignoring a friggin' email from John Podesta and not even including in it one of the biggest things that are criticizing in it. Now, I did my video yesterday about Ro Khanna, and he actually tweeted on me. He actually tweeted back to me. He said he had tremendous respect for my voice. Well, I'd like to return that respect, Ro Khanna. So, this is what I put to you. When you say that you don't take any money, you don't take any money. You take $27 in small donations, and you don't split hairs about how you're going to take it from other people. If you really want to be a leader in our movement, this is what is required from you. And these are the conditions that would be required to accept you. If people think I'm not reasonable, here, Ro Khanna, this is what you need to do. 1, you need to stand with the truth tellers of this movement. You need to you do not chastise Tulsi Gabbard. You go and you join her and you speak the truth, and then you challenge the establishment lie narratives of war, and you actually fight the battle to stop it. You don't say you're against it, but then chastise the truth tellers and stone them. That's number 1. All right? Number 2, you don't join in for bogus calls of election interference investigations. You stand with the community that demands a full independent investigation into the actual fraud. Not this bogus made-up story to shield Hillary Clinton. The actual fraud. The voter registration flipping, and the caucus rigging, and the exit polls not matching the official results. And you get on and you expose that. If you are serious in your intent. You don't lie about Syria. You hold yourself with integrity. And when you are called out, you don't be like, well, I don't accept it this way or that way, and I'm saying the right words on policy. No. The days of progressives doing this manipulative bullshit is over, guys, okay? The days are over. Because true progressives, true people's representatives and voices are going to raise up, and we are not going to play the game anymore. Those days are over. They're over. We are done with mealy-mouthed progressives who never fight the battles needed to win the war, and they never stand up in the real ways. Even if you don't win, you stand for integrity. And you have demonstrated none, sir. Absolutely none. As always, this is Debbie, the sane progressive. You guys stay sane and peace out.
Well, I don't know about you, but I hope Cenk and Jimmy Dore and everybody else that's jumping on this guy's bandwagon isn't getting fooled. And you know, I've been listening to Debbie for a long time, and she has my respect. She knows how to research, she knows how to dig, and I'm generally all in with Debbie. And I've got to tell you, till I know more about this guy for sure, Debbie's words of warning, I've got to heed them. I've got to be a little bit skeptical of this guy at least. So, hey, Debbie's right. With the fraud that we've been facing over the last election cycle in almost all the states, and from the top to the bottom, if you're not skeptical, you're kidding yourself. Thanks for watching the video. Thanks for joining us at gojnn.com, and we'll see you next time. Over and out.